Resident Evil is going to be the savior of Dead by Daylight and its player count, and in today's video, we're going to discuss why. Kings and queens, welcome back to the channel, and tomorrow Resident Evil Chapter 2 essentially is going to be coming out into Dead by Daylight. This is absolutely huge, and this is probably the biggest thing that's going to happen to DBD in almost a year. If you guys don't remember, back in June of 2021, for 2021's anniversary chapter, we received Resident Evil. During this time, the numbers for Dead by Daylight almost doubled. Before this, we had around a 35,000 average, and after a couple of mediocre updates, we got the huge chapter of Resident Evil coming into the game. This skyrocketed the player base from its measly 35,000 to 40, then 48 to 62,000 on average, according to the Steam charts. This was absolutely huge, and we've seen a huge influx in DBD players, even breaking the all-time peak, giving us 105,000 players at the peak, which was absolutely phenomenal. This, combined with the anniversary event, kept the players entertained, and things were looking pretty good and optimistic for DBD. Then it followed with a lot of very bad patches. Essentially, patch after patch, we received bad news, bad changes, everything was kind of going downhill, and by the time you know it, when the new year rolled around, we were already back down to 40,000, and eventually 1 month later, back to 36,000. A lot of people during this time made videos saying that this is the end of DBD, this is where DBD is going to die, etc. And I've heard this story a lot. I have been in the DBD community since the game's been out, all the way back in 2016 when it originally came out, and I've heard this happening all the time. I hear people saying DBD's gonna die, this is it, this is the finale, and it might be the end for them, but the game always continues to go and has proven that it's done quite well. Let's take a look at the stats itself though. Throughout the years, Dead by Daylight has had a very good 30,000 or 35,000 average. This is what it has been on Steam. We've seen this as soon as it was June of 2022, and that kind of remained the same all the way to April of 2021. Before that, we had a way smaller fan base with only 20,000 and less than 20,000 according to the Steam charts, but after that, we started to grow a little bit more. Now it is currently August, and our 30 days are looking like another 35,000, which quite frankly is still good. We're still up to par with what Dead by Daylight had in the past. This is pretty good for DBD, having that same player base continuing to go. Now, because of all these bad patches, when we were at our 60,000 average, it dropped down significantly. Over the months to come, by the time it hit February of 2022, we hit 36,000, March we had 34,000, April we had 29,000, which was one of the all-time lows. The last time we see numbers in the 29,000s was in February of 2020, so the game really was on a shaky leg. But they decided to put out some good patches, and then yet again we received another huge chapter. On top of that, we got an anniversary event that helped boost the numbers a little bit more from its 29,000 to its 49,000. On top of that, in December, we also did receive the launch on Epic Games, where a lot of players are there, and this also doesn't account to how many people are actually playing on console, so the player base itself is quite a lot. With that in mind though, we basically have a fresh start with 35,000 average players again, which is almost identical to what we had before the first original Resident Evil chapter comes out. If everything goes to plan and we receive another huge influx in players just like the first Resident Evil chapter, this could be quite good for DBD. Considering the past patches have been absolutely phenomenal with a bunch of good perk changes, a bunch of good changes to killer and survivor side camping and tunneling, etc., we can expect DBD to continue with these good patches if all goes well, and if they do get that influx in player base again, it could set them up for a really good final quarter for the year. And then, if they continue with these great chapters, and if rumors are true that we might get a Stranger Things chapter returning into DBD, this could be absolutely huge for them, and we could see an average that we've never seen before. very optimistic on what they're going to do, and they definitely need to continue listening to the community and giving us those good patches. So far with this Resident Evil chapter, they've definitely listened to what we had to say, and in the previous patches, everyone has been saying positive things, which is a fantastic thing. With that being said, it means more players will continue to play DBD, and if we do see another 50 to 60,000 average players playing DBD, this could set up really well for the game. And that is why Resident Evil is pretty much going to save Dead by Daylight again. To sum it all up, they're going to bring in a lot of people into the game yet again, and then if they continue to push out the good patches, continue the events going, continue doing huge things like their Attack on Titan collaboration, and if we get a Stranger Things chapter in the future, and we could see DBD having another hugely successful year. With that being said though, the Resident Evil chapter is going to come out tomorrow, and that is the first test. Will this bring in the audience of Resident Evil yet again? Will we see another large boost in the player base? And how will the patches be perceived among the community? All of those questions we'll have to wait and see in the future, but I am pretty optimistic. I hope you guys enjoyed this little discussion video. It's a little bit different from what we do normally, but with the Resident Evil chapter coming out tomorrow, I thought it would be a nice segue into everything. That's pretty much going to do it for me. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, leave a like down below. Subscribe if you are new to the channel. And as always, I'm the King. I did my crown to you guys, and we'll see you in the fog.
Living life like a king. Gold on my neck, boy, gold on my rings. Crown got the tilt, I ain't worried about a thing here. Flow so new, but I'm acting like I've been here. Yeah, see, this what I've been doing since the drop. Fire on the arrow when I tell them all to knock. Once I get it going, ain't no way.